So cute.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 19. I can hardly believe it. Spring has sprung. It is so beautiful, and I am excited as always. Sometimes I wish that I had a more vast vocabulary to use other than excited, grateful, joy, but that's just what it is. I'm excited with my guest that is joining me today. My guest, just a little bit, because I always like to give a little bit about the guest, right? So Layra Marte is a New York City based boudoir and body positivity photographer. She empowers and educates everyday women to let them tell their story through the lens. I am so excited. So let's welcome Layra. Welcome.
Hi.
Woo! All the bells and whistles.
Hello.
I love the succinctness of the bio. And before we get into the work that you do, I'm going to more look at it as like we're going to do a little bit of a teaser, if you will, a little bit of a foreplay first before we get into the boudoir, right? And all what that looks like and stuff. So tell us a little bit about, Layra, where you come from, a little bit about your background, your family dynamics, if you will. Give us an insight as to where you come from, and then we'll segue into who you are as an individual.
Hi everybody. Layra Marte here. I was born in Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo in the capital, and I came to the States when I was 8 years old. My entire family came here. I was like one of the last people who made it, and I've always been surrounded by powerful who take care of their family. That the Caribbean culture is the women are like the backbone, and so I grew up watching that, and so yeah. I mean, what to say? I learned English. I started doing a lot of cool things.
Right.
I could go way
So,
back or just bring
yeah,
it
no, you don't
forward.
have to go that way back, but I just want to get a sense of like
Yeah,
like your family
no.
dynamics.
It's being funny.
Where are you in the do you have siblings?
Yes, I'm the eldest of three,
The eldest of
and I have
three. All right.
a sister and a brother. They're old already. They're 26 and up. We're all there.
Yeah, everybody's grown. Okay. And you are
We're all
living here in New York. You're living in New York. You're New York City
I
based. You're
live
New
in
York
New
City
York
based.
City. Yes, Brooklyn
Right.
all my life. Well, yeah.
Awesome. BK, you always, I'm sure there are BK people out there. BK, stand up, right? I'm saying BK while I'm doing an X, and that's for the Bronx.
So
And I'm not
good,
either.
baby,
I'm not from either. I was really excited to be able to talk to you because I have been following your journey very intimately in terms of your photography journey. But before the photography, and maybe the photography has always been there, but you'll share that with me. I'd like to know when you got started with photography. When was the first time you picked up the camera? How did you know all of that? But I'd been following your journey intimately, and what I recall from being on Instagram, and obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but what I recalled was there was a time when you were focusing on marketing, right? Supporting people with their engagements, having people like supporting people, serving as a coach, if you will. I'm
Social
sure there's
media
another term for.
marketing.
Yeah, social media and marketing guru. I remember that. And you were like doing videos and telling people how they can get their engagements up and talking about algorithms and all of that stuff, right? And so are you still doing that as part, or no, have you fully transitioned into photography?
Fully
Okay.
transitioned into photography, but it comes up because of all the training I've done for me and my business to grow it. There's always people that know that I used to do that and ask questions. So I kind of incorporate a little bit when I'm doing videos, but it's mostly photography now. That's the focus.
Well, and the reason I bring that up is because, for my Just Bloom listeners, it's always about about the blossoming and the blooming. And sometimes people are born into their path, like they come into it and start their careers kind of, this is what I'm going to do. And then some of us have as a journey, right? Getting there, we do different things and we explore different creativity avenues. And so it sounds like that's something that you did. Tell us how you began to take photography, or when was your first kind of interaction with the camera and you decided like this was something that you were going to begin to embark on.
So the minute the smartphones came about, I was that friend
Mm.
that knew how to do the selfie, that knew how to like post you or something. I just loved shooting photos for my friends. Um, but then I just like didn't see. I guess I didn't know that I could be like so the camera intimidated me, like an actual professional camera intimidated me. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I ever want to do that. I'm a programmer by trade and database administrator, so I was doing that for 11 years while I was venturing into entrepreneurship. And that's how I started learning, okay, I got to take specific photos or like get a photographer and show up a certain way. And that was always calling my attention. It's like, okay, but I could take the photo better. Like I could do this differently.
Mm.
I bought a camera, but it was just confusing, and I didn't know that YouTube could be my best friend about that. And so I shelved the camera for like 3 or 4 years before I touched it again. To skip
Wow.
a whole bunch of years, what did it was I met someone. So like right after a training, I think we did this training together. We did a training together, you
Oh,
and I,
with the,
and there was a video
we did the train the
train.
trainer together.
And so that
Yes.
video, I posted it everywhere, and I posted it in a community I'm a part of on Facebook. And this lady came to me and said she was inspired by the video, nothing to do with photography, it was just an inspiring video. And she started telling me about her business, and it was a personal development program they were running, or like oh my God, I can't think of the word, but they were doing an event where like people will write the words in the back of the like labels
I
they
remember
carry.
seeing that campaign. Yeah,
So
yeah.
they were doing a campaign, like a personal development campaign and a transformational campaign where the model would choose words that were empowering and words that were not empowering for them that they've been carrying with them. And she was telling me about it, and I'm like, I want to do that. Like, how do I do that? And she's like, oh, we're in LA. I'm like, all right, so I'll fly to LA. And she's like, no, why don't you do it in New York instead? We're looking for ambassadors. I'm like, all right. And what do I need? And she's like, you need a photographer. You need. I'm like, I got a camera. I'm gonna do it. She's like, no, no, no. You need a photographer. Like, you need a studio, all of that. I'm like, and I said, I'm gonna do it because if it's my event, I want to take the photos. And she's like, Layra, like, no. But and I'm like, watch. And so when I declared it, I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take my camera. And so I posted on Facebook that I needed models so that I could practice because I have an event in June. So I posted it for 6 months after that conversation, so I have time to practice. And everybody just said, yes, I want to model for you. And I saw on the first photo shoot that I'm like, this is my jam. I just love
Wow.
connecting with people. It was amazing to see them like capturing their essence. Like in the way that we just did the whole thing, communicating, the talking, the thing, and the taking the photo. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I went through a whole bunch of different transitions to get to photography, from leaving my job to doing social media management and coaching people and like doing all the things. I'm like, photos. This is how I connect with the world. And that was 2018 when I declared it. It's 2021. Been doing this for almost 2.5 years. Something
I
like
am
that.
like, I
2020
don't know if
counts.
you
2020 counts because I learned a lot during that year and I did a lot of
right.
cool things too. But
I don't know if you could see, but my eyes are welling up as you were telling the story
oh,
because um I think what's so powerful about what you're sharing is that because I want to go back to what you said, which is that you shelved the camera for some time, right?
yeah.
And you put it up there, and then this opportunity came, and you did not wait until you didn't say, "Well, let me go to photography school. Let me do this to prepare for it." You were like, "No, this is a calling, and I got this." And I think so often we wait until certain things are perfect for us to be able to go out
Mhm.
and seize the moment and the opportunity. And instead, you said, you know what? I'm going to learn as I go, right? I'm going to grow as I go. And you're like, I got this. And I think that that's part of the beauty and the essence of it is just being able to move forward with what you have. And that's what Just Bloom is about. It's right. Starting where you are with what you have.
And
That
know
is
that
just such a, go ahead.
no, know that you have the courage inside of you to this. Like when you make that is so it was a courageous move for me. I was open, very vulnerable and open and saying that I don't know how to take photos with my camera and that I'm practicing. So I didn't say it completely, I don't know, like I do, right?
Right.
My mantra was, I know, I just get to practice. And I was clear about it when I requested friends to model for me. They were not expecting, they were just grateful that we're getting a professional photo taken. They didn't know if, how it was going to come out. They wanted to be there and support. So the courage part is where I think we lack in like doing or choosing. It's like, oh,
Right.
I don't know, I can't, people are going to judge me. It's your decision to do the thing. I decided to go for it. I was really looking forward to doing the event in June and empower other women with their labels. Like that was like, my drive. Like I get to be the
Right.
photographer in my own event. So courage is inside of you,
Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
choose
The
it.
courage, and the vulnerability, authenticity, and
Yeah,
transparency, right? Because
and
you actually
transparency.
get, yeah, the transparency, because you actually gave yourself grace as it relates to time, right? You said like it was 6 months out, so it wasn't like, I mean, and even if it were 6 days out, it would have been what was going to
Mm-hmm.
be. But for you, you had the luxury of the 6 months, and you utilized the time effectively. You were like, I'm going to
Yeah.
utilize this time as my playground, as my practice, as and so how did it turn out? I mean, I saw it, but like, how did it turn
I
out?
took so many photos. Oh my God. It was really beautiful. I didn't, so I didn't know what I didn't know, how blessed I was to have so many friends willing to also be vulnerable in front of my lens. When I hear other people saying, I don't know how you did it, and nobody's answering my emails or answering my Facebook posts, I'm like, okay, I'm blessed because I can't judge you for saying like, or like what I will start saying is like, what do you mean? No, this just ask. Somebody will want to do it. No, it's not. And yeah, do it. Don't give up, but it's not as easy for a lot of people. I was very blessed that I have a ton of entrepreneur friends, I guess. I don't know. Whatever the world, I declared it so heavily that the world, the universe sent me everybody. So for 6 months, I think I photographed 20 people
Mm-hmm.
like through those months. And I learned different things. I learned how to speak to the muse. I call them my muses. I learned how to speak
Mm-hmm.
to them and getting what I needed from them, and also like learning what they needed so it's a win-win and they could use the photos, which they all did, which was like even more empowering. So that means I was doing something right. And I
Right.
also connected with a lot of professionals and asked tons of questions. So I joined a whole bunch of free groups and went on YouTube and I did the thing. I really went in
You
and
did the work.
didn't
You
I
did the
did the
work.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes people don't
And it
want, a
does
lot of people
also,
don't want to model for me. They're scared to model because now they see that I actually do it. And it's scary. So
right.
it's hard for me to get models now, but we're fighting it. We're doing it. We're doing it anyway.
Right, right, right. Well, I'm not afraid. So if ever you need a model, I'm here for you.
Let's go, girl.
I am here for you. But it makes me also think about kind of how you, so, and I may have asked this, but, so prior to like kind of, you said you were taking pictures with your phone at first, like from a long time ago, but had you had a desire many long ago? Was it like an inkling? And because I'm trying to get to something here. I want to draw something here. Was it like kind of something that was really within you to do photography, but you just didn't see it in this particular way? Or no, it was just like, you just kind of, because you just happened upon it in the way that you did.
I'm a creative,
Yep.
so I'm gonna show you something real quick. I don't know if
All
this
right,
is
let me
good.
see.
This is what's happening right now. Do you see it?
So that's
I'm
embroidery,
cross
yes?
stitching. Right, I'm in right. So I do that. I sketch. I do anything that you give me a pen, I'll draw something. Give me colors, I'll color something. I'm always creating. So
Got
anything
you.
creative related, I just get inclined to that. I don't want to say that there was a thing for photography, but I liked it. Just like I love guitars.
Right,
I don't play, but so something about the guitar, I just want to learn it. So
right.
it just so happened that I had a network marketing business that required a ton of photography, and I didn't want to invest. And I'm like, I
I
could learn
know
how to
that's
do this
right.
myself because
I
it
know
was
that's
every
right.
week we need a new photo. So I wasn't there in my business to invest in a photographer and all of that. So I bought a camera, I bought a kit, $500 at Best Buy, and kept it moving.
Have you
It's just
upgraded your camera since? Or are you still using the
oh
same
yeah,
She said, "Oh
No, I
yeah."
still have. Oh yeah, no. Girl, I know I abused. No, it's not even because it wasn't good. It's just I abused that camera that whole
You no,
2019.
you used it lovingly. You used it
I used
lovingly.
it. Okay, I like that better. I used it lovingly, and it did what it needed to do for me. And then he said, "Girl, I'm gonna start shutting off for you every time you do a photo shoot
Right,
because I'm tired." And so you get
right.
to upgrade. And during the quarantine, I upgraded to a new camera and a new lens, and photos are
Nice.
incredibly better now. So yeah, you move
Mhm.
up, you kind of upgrade too.
Right.
But
You
I
up, or you do what you do. You know what was
I
when
guess
I
I just
look at
chose photography. I don't think it was something I was dreaming about since I was little. Is what I'm trying to say.
right. No, that I know, and I hear that, and I think that that's But here's what you did choose. Here's what I'm hearing. You may not have necessarily chosen photography. Photography chose you, but what you did choose was the creativity. And I think what I'm hearing in that is the infinite possibilities when you choose creativity, right? Because like me, it's the podcast. There's the wedding officiant. I sometimes MC,
Mm.
right? I want to say MC events. I sometimes MC rap. I sometimes do music. So for me, what I chose is creativity and the ability, the willingness, and the wanting and desire to connect with
Mm.
women, right? To be able to empower and tell stories in this particular way. And so how that is the medium in which that gets to happen, I don't know. But the key
Mm.
part is that I get to connect with women. And so I think that that's what it was, like tapping into the creativity, and it happened to be photography, which is beautiful.
I love
I
that.
do want
That was amazing. Well, now that you help me see the connection too, I was helping women in a fitness network marketing thing I was doing. And I wanted to keep doing that some way or another in photography. I went through social media first and like this is what's needed. People need photos. And then this lady showed up and it's like, okay, it's clear. I get to do photos. I like that.
yes, I
Thank you,
love, yeah.
Nikki.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. The next part of the photos now, the next part of the conversation I want to talk about is kind of the transition into the particular type of photos that you're focusing on. I know you do all types of photos. I was looking, I know you like take photos of items, but you also take photos of people, right? Just kind of in everyday life. But I want to talk about how we got to the boudoir photos. Like how did that come to come? I'm so excited to have this conversation about boudoir. I at full transparency. So I was thinking about what I was going to wear, and I didn't get a chance to do it because I actually don't really own any like lingerie or things, but I also know from your photos it could be really cozy and beautiful sweaters and stuff. But I was like, I'm going to
Mhm.
come with my off the shoulder shirt.
I
I'm going to
see
put on
you,
my
boo. I
beautiful
see you.
I'm going to put on my beautiful panties. Like I'm just like really like setting the space. I was like, oh, we talking
I love
boudoir. I'm going
that.
to get all in the mindset of it all.
Yes.
So
Oh, it's
tell us how
awesome.
that
Thank
came to
you.
be.
So because I was I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for creating the stage and for celebrating yourself because you're sexy. Uh I was helping I was supporting photographer for the company that I was telling you about with the that was doing the campaign with the labels. Um and you the models needed to be topless, men or women's topless. Is very vulnerable. I connected with that, and also it was triggering for
Mm,
me to do it with women. So it's like, what's the conversation I'm having around being naked, about celebrating my body, and the labels that I carry within myself around my body and where I'm at in my life right now. Uh, Gain a couple, found some pounds because I moved back home with my parents and they cook delicious meals. And then I know like I could release some and then I'm a different way, like all the up and downs, the mental conversation, the all these things that we put ourselves through as women. And it came up for me a lot during the campaign. And so I'm like, what is a way I can continue to do the campaign without doing the campaign? And I knew about Boudoir, but I wasn't clear about it. I just started searching for it, and this YouTuber popped up, and he became my coach. I'm like, I need to learn everything that you are doing, and then I did, and I started doing boudoir alongside everything else, because a photographer's journey is you never stop learning. So it's only been 2 years. So I'm trying it all to see what sticks, but boudoir is like the one that I keep falling back on, because I
Right.
love the celebration and the acceptance and the I'm sexy, I'm beautiful, and I get to just, like I get up in the morning and celebrate everything that I am, and naked or not, or with lingerie or not, or I want to wear a comfy sweater today with my hair up, and that's still sexy. And being in that conversation every day, just telling myself how incredible I am and that I'm a gift to the universe, and not in a I'm cocky, look at me. And so what if it is? You get to
That's
be that
right.
way too. You get to
That's
be
right.
cocky. Who's gonna celebrate you if not you? So that's where the whole conversation around boudoir has
Wow.
been leading me to just celebrate, not just celebrating who I am and how I get to tell your story as well and empower you to celebrate yourself the same way.
I want to go back to something you said, and thank you for sharing that, because that is beautiful to see the transition. But there was something that you said. You said, I wanted to do the photos without doing the photos. What do you mean? Did you mean like you wanted
Without
to?
doing
What
their
did? What did
photos, I didn't want to copy their campaign. So I wanted to create
got
my
you?
own staple. So how does Lyra do it? So I'm not a traditional boudoir photographer. I'm more like it's a lifestyle and we can get sexy, but it starts off with like you're wearing a lot and maybe you're just chilling in your house and cooking and looking a mess, but you're just like being
Mm-hmm.
genuinely you and I'm celebrating you. And then if we want to get sexy, then we do. And if you have with your boyfriend and you want to do it with your boyfriend and like your lifestyle in the house with your boyfriend and get sexy with that, or it's like celebrating love, celebrating empowerment, celebrating self-love, just celebrating. Like
Oh my
period.
God, I love that. That is definitely different. I mean, I don't know what the niche boudoir is, but I can already hear the distinction in what you're sharing as you just shared it so beautifully about the lifestyle, right? So it's not just about, as you said, the lingerie, or
Lingerie.
it could be whatever it is that you get to celebrate you, but it sounds like it's in your essence of you, right? Like so I could imagine one of the things that I said is that you do this through the lens, but I could also imagine that you're also serving as a coach, if you will. And so I want to talk about kind of the transitions that you've seen in the women that you've photographed. Because I could
Mm.
imagine, I'm sure that there are many that come in that are highly confident and ready to go, and like, yes, I'm doing this, whether I'm doing this for
They come
myself
ready.
or I'm doing it for my partner, or whatever the
Uh-huh.
situation is, right? Or and so that's one aspect, and I'm sure that there are people that come in that's like, I want to do it because I felt empowered by seeing the photos, but then there may be some resistance or some
Hmm.
apprehension or some angst around that. So talk to me about kind of those women, the women that are like uh, the woman that I just described, and how you begin to work with them, and the transition that you see from the start to perhaps when you're done.
So yeah, that's a great segue into the conversation with boudoir. Is me starting with I start with them from the moment they sign up. So the moment they fill out the form that they're interested, the coaching, if you will, begins. I My goal is that we become besties the minute we start talking. So I come from that space, from the space of I'm just like you, just happen to be behind the lens. That's all. But I walk you through every step. I learn more about you, why we're celebrating you, what are we creating. So your birthday, is it for a partner? Is it because you felt like it? Is it because you released weight, or you gained some weight and you like your booty now? Whatever it is happening. Um, I walk you through it. I also show you a lot of different outfits that we can utilize and support you in where to get them if you don't have them, or things like that. We get on a call and I get to know you better if I don't know you yet. Most of the time right now it's all my friends, and I typically just meet you on Instagram or wherever you find me, and we talk for a while, and so it becomes
Hmm.
that way. It's um
Right.
the apprehension is gone by the time we get to the studio because they know me, but then the camera shows up and it's like, oh wait, but it takes me like 2 minutes. There was
Mm.
one, I had one client, she's like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. I'm like, relax, put that one on first, you're good. I took the first photo. She's like, can I change over there? I'm like, yeah, there's, you can change over there and cover yourself. That one outfit after that is like nakedness. I'm like, what's happening? I thought you was shy. Oh no, girl, I feel good. You're so comfortable to be around. I'm good. And she's naked. I'm like, okay, there you go. Well, that's what I do. I have the same things
Right.
you do, so feel free to change
Right.
right here. Um, I start the work. I don't want to say the work. I start the connection right the moment you reach out to me, and
Right.
make sure that your questions are answered and that you are comfortable and that you're having a great time from the beginning and that we are clicking. If there's a disconnection, which hasn't happened yet, and I'm knocking on wood, I have other
Hmm.
incredible photographer friends that I can recommend, and I send them to them or something. Like it's a community, but I haven't had
Right.
that experience yet. Typically, it's like
Right.
go.
That's a blessing. That's
Yeah.
a blessing, and particularly, in the society of body shaming, right, where
Mm,
women are put on display, either sexually, which is like it's one thing if I put myself on display sexually, but it's another thing when people are just kind of, we live in this misogynistic world and all of that stuff. And so I think it's beautiful when women can reclaim their bodies and be able to own and celebrate their bodies in all different shapes, forms, sizes, and everything. So that's, as I was watching your journey, that was the thing that, like, every time I look and see you post something about a photo shoot that you did, I just get excited. I'm just like, yes, like we get to like own our bodies and and be bold with it and courageous, and own our femininity and our sexuality and
your
all of that.
energy,
So
your energy, the
say that
most
again.
that your energy. A lot of people,
Yes.
like for me, my experience is that I'm very energetic, and some people are like, "What's happening? Why are you so hyper?" I'm like, "Cause I love life today. Like I'm happy." And I
Hmm.
love bringing that out in every, like all my clients, they come quiet because I'm the energetic type. And then they get more energetic than me. And I love that
Right.
switch. I love seeing that they
Yeah.
get to celebrate who they are. So,
Right. Have you had anyone who has said to you, where you had the experience that there was the angst, the because you did share that you had it, like the angst and the apprehension, and then they got really comfortable. But has anyone shared with you how that transition continued well after the photo
the photo
shoot,
shoot.
right? Like, yeah, has anyone come back and said, I was a little bit apprehensive and nervous and anxious, and then I did the photo shoot, I loosened up, but then really I carried this out. I started to, after looking at my photos, and you can finish. Have you had experience when
Oh
people have
my God, yeah,
shared
no.
that?
Well, through the week after, like the day after, there was one person that said, I spent the whole week wearing my stilettos and I felt so sexy. I pulled out all my sexy clothes from the closet. I just felt really empowered. And then they will get their photos. So I do albums. I do album
Mhm.
packages. And so when they get their album, it's like, oh my God, reliving the moment and like seeing it from a whole other perspective. They can't believe they did that. And like, oh my God, I look so sexy. Some of them are like, "Oh my God, don't show nobody. I can't believe I did this," but they're really like secretly excited that they did it. So it's really fun to see them celebrate themselves indefinitely after the photo session. It doesn't end.
Right.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
And to
end.
me, that's beautiful, because to me that's the difference between kind of inspiring versus kind of empowering, right? Because with the
Hmm.
empowering, now you have the tools, the ability to, so if someone is actually being able to say post shoot, I'm wearing my heels, I'm taking my outfits out, I'm like really kind of on a, and maybe not every day, but I'm
No,
I'm celebrating me more than I was prior to. I think that that is a beautiful gift that you're giving to women.
they get to thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you. Like talking to you is like coming up in order. Like this is what's happening when I support someone. Because I'm here like having a party with my camera and not realizing all transparency that this is what's happening with them. Like I know that they get empowered and they feel really sexy, but it's like I'm supporting them and tapping into a part of them that they have either forgotten or didn't know that they had, or didn't know they could be supported by another woman to celebrate
right,
also, because that's another conversation too. Like my goal is to create a tribe, like have a tribe of women that support one another, and they're part of my network of muses that I've worked with, and they all get to know each other and empower each other and whatever they're creating, and they get to celebrate each other openly without feeling like they need to compete. And so like helping them tap into that power that they carry within them is also supporting me and tapping into my own power and seeing what I'm capable of creating for them. So it's pretty nice.
right. Yeah. I, like I said, when we started the conversation, I was like, in even preparing for this, me thinking about what I was going to put on and being very intentional. Like, you're not taking my picture, but I am in
You're
the
ready.
presence of a photographer who does this. So like, to be able to be like, I'm like, oh, I want to embody boudoir in the way, like I want to connect. I was like, like Layra's my muse now in many ways. And I was like, how do I get into this? So no, that is what you give by the energy that you have been even sharing, just watching you on social media. The other thing that I don't know, I happened upon something that I was reading of yours. I think it was on your site. And I think this is so powerful too, is that this is what you do. You're a photographer now, right? This is your full time.
Yeah.
You're a photographer. And one of the things that I read or saw was how this has actually supported you with now getting, I think you said something along the lines of like not being afraid to now charge what you're worth.
Oh, that conversation is so big for entrepreneurs. I'm still in that process. I think we never stop being in that process. But
Right.
understanding the value that I give. Uh, Creative people tend to want to give, give, give. That's our thing. We want to give, and we have this thing that comes natural to us, and it's challenging to charge for it or understand how to charge for it. And so that's when you have the starving artist. There's no reason. This is going to all my artist friends listening to this, and in your audience. If you are a creative, charging your worth doesn't mean like, oh, so I'm Layra Marte, and so I'm gonna charge XYZ because I'm worth that. No, it's what are you giving? So I'm giving my energy when I'm doing a photo shoot. I'm coaching you. I'm supporting you. It's big. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's important. Is so what is your heart telling you to do? And also, you're running a business, so it's nice to go woo
That's
woo,
right.
but like you're running a business. How much does it cost you to rent a studio? How much does it cost you to commute? Then you have to edit photos, take the photo, all these different things. How many hours does it take you per client? And then like your overhead, all the things, and add that up, and then say, okay, so I want to get paid too, and that's your pricing. Um,
Right.
we
Right.
don't see it from the perspective of let me run a business. We create a hobby and stay there. And so it started as a hobby. It was fun. I wanted to do the event in June with the labels and the awesomeness with this incredible company, but then it became a business. Okay, so how does that work? And I need to learn the business side of it, and really like coach myself that it's okay to have a business where I get to create. You get to get
Yes.
paid as a creative. You're a painter, get paid. You're a photographer, get paid. You're a yoga instructor, get paid. Don't do this $10.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't do $10 stuff. Like,
Right. Right.
no,
Right.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Eat fancy stuff,
Right.
travel.
Because that's the conversation of that leads us, that's the conversation in around of the difference between having the conversation in around abundance versus that of scarcity, right? And knowing that you can charge your worth. But when I read it, I was like, yes, because I think, it's a conversation about being enough. Like I am offering a service, and I get to charge for that. And I love that it was put on the site. I think it's something about that was just so powerful, and it kind of jumped out to me because I was like, yes, because I think we don't talk about it enough, right? I think money, there's a lot of things I think we don't talk about in society.
Talking about money.
But there's shames around earning, around money, of being able to earn for our crafts and our creativity. A woman who, yeah, exactly.
How do I look
So
empowering people? Sorry to interrupt you. How do I look? I'm here empowering people, empowering everyday women. That's my thing, right? And I'm having a conversation about my worth. Like that's why I do it. It's a win-win. Coach, oh, I'm getting goosebumps just saying that.
Well, I just got chills, like that too. So did I.
Girl, you just talked about something I'm passionate about this conversation because it's like the shaming that goes with creating your own business, whatever it is you're creating, the people around you will shame around it because they don't know better either. They're in their that's not you. You're not supposed to do that. This kind of people do that, not you. You're meant to do XYZ. I did the working for someone else. It's great. No, not for me. I'm always supporting. I'm a freelancer, so I'm always supporting other people, but I want to support Lida too, and I get to create. And so I'm empowering you. How does it look that I'm walking around with my head down like, oh, this is how much it is. If you want to pay that, nah, this is how much it is. If you are not, a no doesn't mean that they don't want you. Is that they're not ready for the investment. They don't understand.
They're not ready to make the investment.
They're not ready to make the investment, or they have other people that charge less. Bye.
Right.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
Release them, and you'll get more blessings. Let it go. Don't stay.
That's right. I love that. I think that's what was the draw, was kind of thinking for me when I saw that, was like, here is a woman who is doing something, right? But she's also doing that part for herself, right? She's empowering other women, but she's also ensuring that she's empowering. It's kind of the whole the adage of like, put the oxygen mask on yourself. So it's like, as I'm empowering them, I'm also empowering myself. So I think that's why it jumped out to me so much. I was like, that is bold. I love it. And it to me, say that again.
I'll be doing boldy stuff sometimes. I'm bold.
Yeah, I love it. But what it does is, it says when you shine your light, you give other women permission to do the same. So even if someone was coming to peruse the site and maybe they were like looking because they were thinking about doing photography, just even to see that sentence in and of itself was very empowering. I was like, thank you. I was like, I didn't know that I came here for that, but thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. So no, I really appreciate that.
Boo. I got you.
Yeah. So I think as we begin to wrap up, I wanted to ask a couple of more questions. One is, three questions. Who is Lida, right? When we think about who are you, who is Lida at her core?
Lida. That's a good question. You got me. I don't know what to say. That's never the case. I got a lot to say. Lida is
You're starting to break up a little bit.
Oh.
No.
You
can just unplug the headphones. It's fine.
Is it better now?
Speak again.
Yeah.
Yeah, much clearer.
Because my thing died, that's why.
That's okay. I can hear you though.
Let me lower the volume a little. Lida is a fighter. She's empowering. She's loving, joyful, courageous. That's Lida. Lida is a everyday woman who is searching and learning and seeking and all the things.
And what brings Lida joy?
This right now brings me joy. Being in conversation. I haven't spoken to you in 2 years. Like we've bumped into each other on social, but that training was powerful and you made it powerful as hell too. So being in your presence was amazing. So doing this,
Thank you.
connecting brings me joy.
Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. And tell us more about the seeds that the seeds that you are planting in your kind of what's next. I know that there is a book of sort that you have. You want
So
to tell us about that?
quarantine, uh, in the beginning, we didn't know what was gonna happen, and so I'm like, okay, I want to take photos. How do we do this if we're all at home? And I got together with a friend, and we did a webinar where I taught women how to take photos with their smartphone online, and it was amazing. They did all this incredible photography on their own at home. So I put together an ebook based on that webinar, and it did well last year. I just kind of like wanted to learn more on how to share more information, and so what I did this year was release a free ebook with like a glimpse of what that's about while I keep working on just to keep the momentum going. And so I'll be releasing an ebook right now in the spring, coming soon. uh, where because I'm still like working on the videos, girl. It,
Yeah,
it's a
listen,
solo business. You gotta do what you can.
solopreneur. Exactly, exactly.
You gotta give
I
yourself grace. Give yourself
overstand.
grace because gotta
Hmm.
invest here and
I
there, and
overstand.
it take your time. But because I'm doing it on my own, I released a freebie, which I'm gonna give you the link so you can share with your audience, and they could download this really cute like iPhone type ebook. You can download it to your phone, and I'll tell you step by step what to do, how to set a mini studio in your apartment or outside in the park, whatever way, like how to get ready for a photo session, the same way I get my clients ready. And then I give you a few tips on apps that you can use right on your phone to edit the photos and make it more bright or make it whatever your preset, which is like the filter you want to use or not.
Hmm.
But it's mostly a celebration. It's really a celebration of yourself in the ebook. And I'm excited about the ebook because there's so many things in there that you're going to be able to use if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a social media influencer, if you just want to have dope AF photos on your Instagram or
Come
your
on
social
now. Uh-huh.
platform, and not just like the selfie that we all do, like how to do this selfie with like bring it to another level. Uh,
I
up
love
level your
that.
selfies with my do it yourself uh, self portrait ebook. That's where we're at.
What a dope gift. What a dope gift to gift to folks, right? And so thank you for sharing that with my Just Bloomers. I'm sure that they're going to be excited about that. So y'all heard that. There's a free ebook, but you got to listen to the podcast. That's going to be that's going to be the thing. By the time they get to I'm going to put in a thing like listen to the podcast to get something free at the end. That
At
part,
the end,
that
not
part.
before.
I love
Listen to
that.
this conversation. Get to
Yeah,
know
because
me.
it's a beautiful conversation, and I'm so grateful and thank you for joining
Thank
me
you for inviting
in this
me.
conversation. Yeah, is there any parting words, any last things that you want to share with the beautiful folks of Just Bloom?
Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. You got everything that you need. Um, the most like what I could tell you is to sit still quietly and listen. Listen to what the gift is that you have within you. It's inside of you. Trust me.
And with that said, thank you, beautiful people.
Thank you guys
Until
for
next time,
listening.
Just Bloom.